Okay, we are live with this week's session of the Quantum Infinite Purple Energy and working with it. So with today's session, where we'll want to how I'll go, or I'll just kind of break down of where it came to me is we'll do the breath work. So we'll get the Quantum Infinite, the breath of the infinite, I think is what I was going to go with. It came to me this morning or on the way home. So the breath of the infinite, where we do the inner and then connecting the heaven and earth cheese with the two different infinites. And then we'll go directly from that to the uh, trance meditation with the didgeridoo. And this one, we with Arlo's surgery being so close Friday, we have a shared message and a picture that w was shared with us by Devora and her son. So I would really like to take this session to focus for Arlo and use that group effort for Arlo, with the surgery so close and with it being so impactful. And how I envision that, or how I'm going to do is kind of a twofold. I'm gonna send it. We have a picture of Arlo that we can focus on. We'll send it to him. We'll send a healing. But we're also gonna send our infinity thread to Devora. So all of us will be sending infinity threads. So then Devora gets fed with this direct energy because she's got the direct impact with Arlo. So then we'll feed her the energy, which then will empower her to further feed her son and Arlo and her daughter-in-law. Yes, Maggie.
Hey, I didn't catch the update on Arlo. What is are they prepared now to go back in? What's going on, if you don't mind?
You want me to share that, Brian, or do you just want to read what Jared posted online?
Whatever you know, if you want to share, it is your story, so I'll let you share. And if you rather have me say it, I will share that as
If
well.
you want to read the post, because I don't have it right here, that's fine. But I do want to share one thing that it came to me here just in the last few minutes. It's interesting that he's been up there in Nebraska now since the beginning of January, so they could have done this surgery for almost 2 months, but they wanted to wait until the 28th of February, and the kids couldn't figure out why. And the doctors just said, well, 28th of February is when we're going to do it. Well, the 28th of February, number one, is the new moon. So a
Mhm.
new beginning. And it's also 2/28, 2025, which in Kabbalistic thought, if you reduce that down, it reduces down to the number three, which is divine completeness.
Mm.
So I just think that's very significant that that's when they're going to do the surgery. And
We
uh,
also we
I
also
feel
have
hopeful.
the parade of the planets tomorrow, like the
Right. It
full
ends.
display.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that. So yeah, there's a lot of cycles and closures, and we just entered the new. Mars came out of the retrograde. Lots of growth and new beginnings. So it is a really powerful time.
Which
Devora.
this is the second parade of the planets. There was one last month, and I was talking to Lisa about this the other day, Shelley. This is extremely rare to have a parade of the planets twice in a row like this.
Yeah,
It's usually like 40 years apart.
yeah.
And so
Oh,
it's an
interesting.
Mm.
extremely rare event right now for it to be. It started on the 22nd and ends on the 28th, the parade of planets this week.
It's
So
like
that's pretty crazy.
they're all
Yeah.
peering in and watching. That's what
Hmm.
I
that's what Lisa was
that's what I
saying. They're
feel
all peering
like.
in and watching. And now is his room purple?
Right now he's at Ronald McDonald House, so he's going to move over to the hospital tomorrow and it'll be in intensive care. So it won't be a private room for several weeks. So I
But a
probably not in it.
purple, not private, but
No,
purple.
no, no,
Like,
no, no. I know what you said, but I don't think
okay.
there's any purple rooms in intensive care because it's
Oh.
one big ward. Yeah.
Okay. I saw a picture like right after we talked and you said he was going and
Right.
there was a little boy that was from my town and he was in the same hospital and it was purple background. And so I
Wow.
was like, there
That's
we
cool.
go. There's the purple. So that was
Yeah.
to me a sign.
All
Just a little
right.
explanation as you put this picture up of him. I couldn't figure out what the picture was. And his parents had taken him outside and built a little snow fort. And so he's peering out like the opening of a snow fort.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful.
I
Uh,
I did tell them that the picture looks like the dogs peed on the snow because it looks really like yellow snow, but I think it was just the way the camera came off.
Well, since we're speaking on it, let's go ahead and bring it up here. There is our little buddy right here, Mr.
There he is.
Arlo. Mr. Smiles right there. So he's going to be our focus for our session today. Ooh, Loretta did make it. So we do have a new joinee today. Miss Loretta has just joined us. She's been inquiring about it, and we have been talking, and she's been excited. So just give a review for you quickly, Loretta. We'll be going into the breath work. You know how we will do it. We'll do the breath of the infinite. I'll do a guided meditation to get us through the breath work, connecting the heaven and earth chi, and then we're going to utilize that energy, and we're going to direct this energy as a healing to this cute little boy right here on the screen, Arlo, who is Devora's grandson. And he's having a very, very intensive and major surgery, reconstructing his intestines, basically. So we are going to send, not only are we going to send some healing energy to Arlo and focus on this picture with the focus intent and the shamanic drumming to get in that trance state, but we're going to send what we're calling infinity threads to Devora to help charge Devora's energy. Since she's got the direct interactions with Arlo and she has that direct impact, we'll charge her energy so she's able to charge Arlo, her son, and her daughter-in-law. And then I was going to share real quick. I want to stop sharing because I don't think everybody, people that are in my chats probably don't want all their stuff shown. But here is the post that Arlo's father posts. This Friday, Arlo is going in for another major surgery with a new surgeon in Nebraska. The last round of surgeries in November resulted in substantial complications, so our team in Portland has referred us to a specialist in Omaha who specializes in intestinal rehabilitation. He will be attempting to repair the complications from the previous surgeries and get him to a place where we can start working toward a normal feeding program. Please be praying for a successful outcome with no complications. So that's exactly what we will go ahead and do tonight with our focused intent meditation part. Um, I do, before we get into it, I always do like to open it up and just open if anybody has any experiences or anything they want to share regarding the purple energy, the infinite core, the vortexes within, or just interacting or playing with this energy. It's been a couple weeks since we actually talked really about it. So if anybody had anything, don't feel that you have to. I just like to offer that out. And then if
Well,
not,
okay, so I have a question for Devora. So has your little guy been eating yet? Does he
No, he
eat?
hasn't eaten since the accident almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, so we need
He's
to
not, because his intestines are such that he can't eat at all. They're
even
just
eat.
crushed.
Yeah, so that's going to be something psychologically that I really want to think about and like set some focus to because
Yeah,
I mean, that's very, you should learn how to eat when you're little, like, we all
right. And
probably know that.
because he
But
was only 15 months old when the accident happened and he hasn't eaten since then, he developed what's called oral aversion. So it means that his brain and his gut don't speak to, he doesn't know when he's hungry and he doesn't understand that he's supposed to put anything in his mouth and eat it and chew it up. And because of his intestines being crushed and not working, they can't put anything in there anyway until this gets
yeah.
fixed. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
this will be something that in the future that we'll just see him eating well and enjoying lots of variety of good foods,
And
not
having
just,
enough intestine left to be able to uptake nutrition. That's a big point. Now
well, yeah.
they said they need to have at least a foot, hopefully more than that, of intestine to be able to save his intestines. So,
Okay. All right. We're going to see more than that.
yeah, more, lots more.
More than.
So did they
Yeah,
decide against
I
the
won't get
plant?
upset
Like,
if this kid gets fat someday. Let me put it that way.
There you go. Grandma's got to get him fat. That's where we're going.
That's right.
do they decide against a transplant and they're trying just to repair what's existing?
Well, Maggie, the problem is this team in Nebraska specializes in intestinal rehabilitation and transplant, but they don't want to do a transplant if they can help it because they're very, very risky at that age. Plus, they can only transplant from another child his same size, which means another toddler would have to die. And
Right.
also, a transplant is the worst thing you can get, because once you have any kind of a transplant, you're on immune suppressants the rest of your life, which means you have absolutely no immunity.
Yeah.
So
I remember
not
you
a good,
talked
not a
about
good,
it.
not a good option. Yeah.
No, no, of course. You want to avoid that if possible. I remember you had mentioned it before, so I was just curious.
So we will
Yeah.
focus on the rehabilitation. We will focus on them being able to
Yes.
rebuild it healthfully and with more than a foot. So I think that will be our intent, and then just the healing, and if we want to take it into the future, as Shelley said, and envisioning the healthy gut and the healthy intestines is able to process good leafy, good veggies and fruits, and because those, especially leafy vegetables, those are hard for the digestive tract to process sometimes, especially. So we want to give him the best nutrition and make sure that he's able to get the nutrition need, because that's also going to help the process along down the road
Right.
in the further parts of the recovery.
Right. Yeah, as I've been focusing on him every day and sending him energy every day, I keep focusing on, I just keep visualizing and focusing the doctors going in there and being shocked that it's not damaged, that because they're going to take his entire intestines and bowels out of his body and then go through it all. And I'm just, my focus has been that they're going to go, wow, wait a minute, there's really not anything wrong here. And they're going to stick it back in and sew him up and say, let's start trying to feed him.
Hmm. Well, Arlo is here with us. We
Yep.
have the
Yep.
purple amethyst angel. So he's always with me. I do want to say that I do carry him. He goes in my crystal bag and he goes with me everywhere, every day, all the time. So Arlo's spirit and
Thank
energy
you.
is always with me. So, cool. So with that, I guess we can jump into the breath work here and get started. Let's get this energy going. Hey, Ron, you
Hello,
made it.
hello.
You made it,
Hey,
buddy.
Brian. Hey, Brian, could I just throw something out there?
Yes, you definitely can.
Okay. This is crazy because I've been just, it just comes to me at the right time, and then I've just been setting up what I call nodes. Like, in other words, I'm just planting purple vortexes, whether it's infinity symbol, mostly infinity symbol. I'm just planting them as I find different places. And so, Shelly and I are in Nebraska, and so I don't think it gives us any more authority or any less authority, but I just think because that's like in our like region, I just want to say like we've already got some like like beacon type nodes that are set up around here. So let's just know we're already one, but we're just like we're just like jamming all of those extra nodes together just to make it like that. That's I'm not big, I'm not so clear on what that's supposed to look like. But it's just like, hold on, man. This is all gonna happen in Nebraska, and we're here like pulling triple holy smackdown over here. So
That's awesome. Yeah, and once again, that's been my thing is, and also a theme in channelings and videos and in touches and messages and downloads is sharing this vibration, sharing this energy and
Mm.
anchoring it. Because the more we do that, the more it anchors it into Gaia, into Earth, and the more it changes everything around us and our entire reality. Because that's what we can alter. We can't alter as easily something that's hundreds of mile away that we may or may not know if we don't have that direct connection, but we can alter our direct world, and by altering our direct world, that bleeds out into the larger scale world, and that's it just magnifies out and it radiates out and continues to grow and grow and grow. The more we
Okay, I just
share.
have to say something. Okay. So a few years ago, there was like Super Bowl and there was, I think it was Manning or something. And they kept calling Omaha, Omaha, Omaha. And so I just feel like that's just really kind of prophetic. It's like we've been speaking of this for a long time, right? You know, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Super Bowl,
Yeah, that Peyton Manning was famous. That's his little thing was always yelling, Omaha, Omaha.
Omaha,
Yeah,
Omaha.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
anyways, I just feel really
Well,
good about that.
well, and the other thing that if we could send some just loving energy to the people at Ronald McDonald House there, because that Ronald McDonald House has something going on that's not good. And we're not quite sure what it is because the kids have stayed at Ronald McDonald houses, throughout the whole, not that one, but other ones throughout the course of this almost 3 years. And that one, there is just There's not a good spirit. And my son even asked me, he goes, how do I clear the spirit here at this house? He said, I mean, they
Mm.
won't even let him have a juice box in his room. I mean, they have to hook, if he wants a snack or a juice box or something, they have to take his whole IV transport system and take him down to this little eating room. He can't go to the playroom without making an appointment and being scheduled. And they're just really angry, the staff, for some reason, and we don't know why. And not just angry at them, but just seem to be kind of angry altogether, which is not typical. Ronald McDonald houses are very compassionate usually. So there's something going on there that just needs a lot of love sent to it.
And I'm gonna go one further with that because I don't think it's isolated to that Ronald McDonald's house. This is kind of
Oh, good.
overarching uh, theme in the energy for the collective. Is there's a lot of angst, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of worry, there's a lot what's happening, waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak. Um, and we need to be the anchors
Yeah.
you actually just messaged me personally, Devora, something similar. We cannot focus especially when we're dealing with this energy and we're playing with this and we're sending it, we cannot focus on that because then the energy becomes that, and that's what we start sending out. So we focus on the exact opposite. The opposite polarity, the higher vibration that wins out, and we transmute the energy and we change the world. So yeah, I definitely thank you for that.
That's the
Exactly.
way to be. That's the way to be. It's quick. You know how quick our prayers are answered nowadays? Um,
Quantum. This is
just
where the
quick.
quantum comes in, and this quantum space, and my interactions lately with my higher consciousness and source and different things is shifting. Is that's what it's about. Is we're shifting from these linear timelines, these linear methods, and oh, we have to do this is to quantum everything instantaneous, and the moment you can tap into it, and just like these quantum infinite vortexes within us. The whole point is we create the infinite we create this never ending, this everlasting flow of energy within us that we can tap into in one breath. And I did before we go into that, I do want to share one little thing because I kind of excited. I'm happy is my oldest son decided to that he wanted to walk the path of the shaman and answer the call of the shaman. And we started his initiation into that last night. And we did some of this breath work. We did some different things. We did some amazing things. And he has ADD and borderline autism. He's borderline on the spectrum. So these methods, to see the smile on his face, the genuine smile on his face after doing this breath work and doing this stuff with him, just beams my heart. I mean, it infused the purple energy even stronger, and just to see him smiling and be able to help him with that. So, um, before we go in, I'm going to share again the what I love to do is the arrow points two ways. The theory of the arrow pointing two ways. So, by healing, doing this and sending the energy other ways, this is an ancient shamanic practice is, and they know, and this is why the healers and the elders of the group always live so long, is in healing others, you're healing yourself. And that even becomes amplified with the infinity threads. If we send healing in an infinity thread, it's going to continue to infuse itself. It's going to come back, be stronger. It's going to go out, cleanse, heal, come back with healing energy. And then the more we do it, the more it compounds on itself. And so, once again, share, share, share as
Okay,
much as we can.
Brian, I have a question. I
I might
totally
have an answer.
visualize. Okay, I visualize when we're doing the figure eight, but when it goes out to somebody else, how does it come back into your heart? And just
Circles
you just go,
and just kind of merges into the energy. So I see it starting from the heart and
okay,
goes out,
to your
loops out,
right.
cross, or whatever way it
Okay,
flows for you. Mine goes out to
okay,
the right, so I go and it crosses over, and then it just encompasses them. And I don't enter their energetic space. I surround them with the other loop. So I'm not invading their space, so it's not an invasive thing, but you are now encompassing in them in this healing energy. So one, you're protecting them, giving them a shield of energy, and then with them being in this like bubble or this loop of energy, it is going to heal them naturally. And then that energy, once it comes back to you, it can't pick up anything. One, it's not going to pick up any negativity or lower vibrational things. But if it does, it's not tainted by it. It's not being infused by that. It's going to transmute the energy. So when it comes back to you now, it's already healing energy. It's constant healing energy. So you're going, you're wrapping it around, coming back, and it enters the heart, gets a little bit more charge from our purple and our healing, picks up a little more of our healing, sends it back out, and just continues
So
to do
does
it.
it cross in the air and then back in
Yes,
the same? Okay,
yes,
so that's where my question is. I was like, where does it go then? Does it go to the so
yes.
I didn't know if it just crossed in the air. Okay, so it
Yep.
turns into an eight then in the
Yeah,
air.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Because to
So
us
we'll,
it crosses in our heart,
mhm.
but here we leave our heart and then it goes to that person and makes an eight, comes back to our heart, right? However,
Yeah. Yeah. So the
okay,
crossover just happens in the ether with
okay.
one loop connected to us and one loop connected to them.
Got it. Okay. So this was interesting. The other day I was really focusing on my solar plexus and my infinity was going like left and right, connecting the two. I felt masculine and feminine, but then I kept hearing noon, Devora. It was noon on one side. It was like an Anana thing, and that's when I looked up what the letter meant is perpetuity and seed, but it's also traveling. And I feel like it's, again, what you're doing is keeping our energy at its utmost highest and not allowing, I love the word that's using lately, parasites to suck off our energy because
Mhm.
that's what had been happening before. So, okay, got
You're
it.
removing parasites, you're clearing stagnation because having a continual flow of the energy so it doesn't get stuck or built up and it's just constantly flow. And then you become the flow. And so these infinity
That's a good
symbols,
choice of words,
yeah.
too. That's so good, Flow. We're all flowing the same. That's
Yes. Oh,
awesome.
and this is what it's been revealing to me. And then the more I give into this and the more I practice this and the more I'm doing this daily and hourly and every time I can think about it, the more I just am constantly now becoming the flow. And then that flow just and then things just don't affect you. You change the room of people, you walk in, you have interactions with people, and then they read or react to your energy and it starts opening the world up to all of us. So, okay. I think we are ready. I thought I had something else to say, and now I was going to add because you said it was horizontal for you at your solar plexus. So, it's interesting because there was a Steve Noble meditation I shared about a month or so back where he did these and he did one at the root, one at the heart, and one at the third eye, and he created vertical or horizontal ones there, and it was kind of expanding and balancing out the energies, and they were strategically placed at each level to get the lower, mid, upper chakras and bring them into unity and balance. So I sometimes
Yeah,
do that and add that
yeah.
in meditations, but
And I feel like it was solar plexus, but I also feel like it's that center soul star in our, I can't
mm,
remember if it's called Dantian or something like that. That's
Dantian,
right
yes,
there.
yeah,
It's kind of
Dantian.
between the solars. And I think I was just really laying foundation, like Baran talks about, like putting in, because then it was turned into three. So there was like a blue light over here and a blue light over here. And then in between me was the blue light where it crossed. Like I felt like I
Beautiful.
was just like bringing in, anchoring in the energies that's been going on. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty
Well,
trippy.
and it's interesting because the Dantian is very, very prevalent in Oriental and Oriental energetic work and Qigong specifically. Uh, you actually have three Dantians within the body, and the lower Dantian is these they're all energy fields or energy containers. So for you to be able to work with that and send this infinite energy through this energy container, and like you said, charging, grounding it, the lower Dantian is the basically it's said is the fire and so if you're cooking something up your lower dantian is the fire the pit that cooks or initiates everything. The middle dantian is kind of your cauldron where everything is and you're cooking everything up so you have your cauldron, so the lower dantian infuses and charges that, and then the cauldron is kind of what you're cooking and what you're focusing on, and that's in the heart. And then the upper dantian up here is the results. is the smoke, is the essence coming off of this, and so your fire cooking your creation, the creation then manifesting out into the world. That is where we're at with that, and that's so cool that you had that, Don Tien. Thank you for joining, Loretta. You can watch the replay. I'll send you over the link for that, but it was nice for you to be able to join us while you could.
I wanted to share something too, Shelley. When we first started doing this, I kept getting kind of caught up in my head on the infinity symbol. And okay, well, is it moving in the right place? Is it above my head? Is it down below my, is it my root chakra? Where is it? And I would get so distracted by trying to make sure that it was moving in the right direction and everything with the figure eight. And I finally just decided that just be still and know. And I let it just kind of flow from my heart and go where it wanted above me and where it wanted to go below me. And when I did that, it just ended up in the right places. When I quit thinking about trying to make sure it was moving in the right places throughout my body and just stopped for a second, let it center in my heart, and then let it move, its different directions.
Yes.
It was so much better for me. It just flowed so much easier when I quit trying to, because even sometimes when Brian is directing us and saying, down, up on the right side and da da da, and sometimes I get lost and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not up on the right side yet,
Oh, totally.
and
Yeah.
so I just had to kind of just relax into it and say, okay, I just trust that it's going to move in exactly the way it's supposed to in the infinity symbol. And and once I did that, I just fell into the rhythm of it and it would just sync up with the rhythm of everybody else when I got out of my head and quit worrying exactly where it was, if that makes sense. I don't know if you agree with
Yes.
that, Brian,
No.
but that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
worked for me.
No,
Me too.
I agree a million percent with that because that's exactly how it is. We need to stop. We need to release control.
Yeah.
We always try to compartment. Oh, it's got to be a certain way. I got to be doing this, and we get so rigid, we miss the reality of what's happening. And we're so focused, and it's going to go and flow how it needs to flow and exactly how it needs to flow. It's just the fact that we are acknowledging that is existing, acknowledging and kind of semi-visualizing what's going on here, and allowing it, the infinity loop is important because it is infinite. It is creating that infinite flow of energy and constant. But if we get so caught up in how it's supposed to be and where are we at in the cycle, where are we crossing over at the right place? Like you said, now you've taken yourself out of the flow of energy and you're too focused on how it's got to be this way. It's no, it doesn't matter. Just like when we get so focused on an outcome of something. Oh, this has got to be the way. And we get laser focus on it. And then all of a sudden we get all these opportunities that happen that are not in our focus that we don't see. All these doors that open that lead us to exactly what we want to do, but we get so hyper focused on, nope, it's got to be this way, it's got to be this way, it got to be this way, that we miss the process or we miss our opportunity or we miss the fast track to it there and we take the long, hard way. Yeah, so as we allow this energy to show us, the energy knows, the energy is intelligent. The energy knows exactly what it needs to do and where it needs to
Um,
flow.
can I chime in here? I
Yeah.
know for me, I know you told me like months ago, probably, to just be. And I know for me, just being and whatever's happening in my, daily life, for me, it's been actually really good because I find myself not online. I find myself going out and doing things and getting out of my comfort zone. And I have now my son is doing baseball, so now I'm like getting back into the groove with interacting with other parents and meeting old friends that I haven't seen in 20 years. It's crazy. So the just be factor really worked for me. So thank you.
And that's really it is. The more we can just
Hmm.
be and flow and be in the essence and exist and know that everything's going to work out. Because
Yeah.
how many of our hard days have we survived? 100%.
Yeah.
Every
All of
single
them.
one of them. And
Everyone. Yep.
every single one, we've
Yeah.
become stronger because of it. So
Hmm.
when we get caught up in that, and then we're stressed, and then we introduce discord into the body, and then we get discomfort and pains and disease and all sorts of other things. But because we're resisting, Let go
Mhm.
of resistance. Just be. That's a good mantra. Just be.
Yeah.
And I
I
don't think it's a coincidence that there's now 8 of us.
I love it. I love it. I do want to. I did want to throw this in here because of where I've been this last week. I have been working and decoding and deciphering and indulging in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Uh, uh, so I don't know if all of you are familiar with those, but they are extremely powerful ancient texts that outdate the Bible. Thoth, the Atlantean, he also was responsible for, many say, the Egyptian rise and the pyramids and the Sphinx. Um, Actually, a very surprising thing is there's a breath work involved and there's a mantra involved. There's basically it's called the key to unlocking the secrets of the tablets, and it's Zin Uru. And so I was practicing this mantra yesterday. I was walking around my campus because I love doing it because I get trees and I just exchanging the energy, and I'm just Zin Uru, and I'm going through and just chanting this. And so I'm walking past this wall at this construction area, or where they do architectural stuff and do a lot of concrete stuff. And I see this picture that I'm going to bring up that I had never in my life seen before. I don't know if we can see that. Maybe
Yeah, you can. You just have to like bend it a little bit. Okay, let's see here. Okay, get up here a little closer.
let me
Oh,
hold
is
on.
that the head sphinx thing? Is that like the
It is the
sphinx
Sphinx
with
completely. Let me see if I
with
turn
its
off
hair-like thing?
my background to none so it stops that. So it is basically a painting and etching, I don't even know, on a concrete wall of the Sphinx. And in the Emerald Tablets, Thoth reveals that his secrets are kept under the Sphinx. And it has been shown and proven that there is actually there is a tunnel under the right paw of the Sphinx that goes into chambers that have not been able to be breached or explored yet. And it is said that those chambers are where the mysteries and the secrets and the magic of Thoth the Atlantean were kept. So I found it very powerful and interesting that I walked past this place at least 3 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week. And I had never seen this mural in my entire life in the 3 years I've worked there. And then as I'm going around doing Thoth's mantra and connecting with his energy, I see the Sphinx, and I just that was him telling me like, yep, we're onto something here. So that was just a fun thing. I do suggest if any of
Love
you
it, love it, love it.
if any of you want to get involved, maybe we do an Emerald Tablet study session. I don't know because it's I have found it to be absolutely incredible, and it is very deep and very powerful. So yes. So then okay. With that said. We ready to do some Breath of the Infinite? Okay, so I'm going to do a share screen because I want to put the picture of Arlo up as we're doing this, as we're creating this energy, because we're creating this healing energy for him. So I really want it infused with his spirit so we make sure it's just really charged and direct for him. So I'm going to go ahead and share again out and get our wonderful little friend. There is our buddy right there, and everybody can see him. All right, so here is our focus. So now we will go into our breath work. We'll catch you guys all afterwards. So first things first, we want to get in the center of our head. I've mentioned it a couple times. The center of the head, there is a void where the brain hemispheres meet. It is actually scientifically proven there's a void. There's a little void. And it's what this is called is the seat of the soul. It is in a lot of esoteric teachings, different things, and it's a place where No brain activity goes on. No, because it's a void. It's a little void in the middle of the brain. And so we can reside our consciousness there to minimize any distractions, minimize anything, and still be in full control. It's almost like we're in the cockpit of our body, in the seat of the soul. And to find that, the easiest way is we're going to envision a line that goes from the top of one ear straight out to the top of the other ear. And then another line directly in between our brows at the third eye, straight out the back of our head. And where these two lines intersect in the center of our head is the seat of the soul. And that's where we're going to want to reside, because the more we can reside there, the less we become bothered and the more clarity we can have. So now that we are at the seat of our soul, we're resting, we're in the cockpit, ready to drive. I want us to just kind of really relax, settle into our seats, allow for the cushions to really support us, feel the cushions pressing against your skin, feel the tension it creates as you sit against it, and allow your body to just release and relax into the support of your chair, knowing that you can just fully relax all your muscles, all your support, because the chair, your seat is now going to support you so that you can release any tension, any tightness, and just kind of settle in, relaxing, releasing. Inhale, we kind of cleanse the body on the in-breath, bringing in fresh, clean energy into the body. And then as we exhale, we relax, settle in just a little bit more. Inhale, we cleanse fresh energy in through the universe. Exhale, release, relax, settle a little bit deeper into your chair. One more cleansing breath as we breathe in that fresh energy filling up the body. And then exhale, release, relax, settle in. So now that we are at the center of our head, at the seat of our soul, and we are fully relaxed and supported in our seat, we are going to start the breath of the infinite. And to do that, we just start at the root of our spine, at the base of our spine, right at the root chakra. And we breathe in and allow the energy to rise up the right side of our body, eventually crossing over at the heart and continuing up. Now the left side of the body, and it's going to go up over our crown where it connects into the crown. And then as we begin to exhale, it comes down the upper right part of the body, crossing over again at the heart, continuing to exhale, releasing down as it goes down the left side of our belly and connects back under the root or into the root, completing the circuit. So we're just going to do one more breath with following the circuit. So on the in breath, all the way up to the crown, starting on the right side of the body, crossing over at the heart, up the left side, over through the crown, and then exhale, relax, and allow the energy to just flow back down the right side, cross over at the heart, down the left side of the belly, and then under, connecting back to the root, completing the circuit. And now let's pivot about 45 degrees. So we're about halfway between direct middle back and the left side of our body. So the back right side of our body. This time we inhale, follow the energy up the back right. Continue to inhale as it crosses over at the heart, comes over to the front left, and then up over the head, connecting into the crown. And then exhale back down the upper back right, cross over at the heart again, coming to the lower front left, and then curving down into the spine, connected into the root, completing the circuit. Now we pivot again, 45. This time we're lined up at the back, so the in-breath comes up directly behind us, behind the spine, up the back side of us, crossing over at the heart again, then up the front of us, up over the face, over the head, connecting into the crowns. Then we can begin to exhale, allowing it to flow effortlessly down the back of us, crossing over again at the heart, down the front of our belly, directly in the center, passing through the navel, then connecting back down into the base of the spine into our root, pivoting in another 45. So now we're at the back left, breathing in the back left, coming up, crossing over at the heart, following again the breath up, upper left or upper right side of the front, up over the head, connecting to the crown, and relaxing as we exhale, releasing down the back left, crossing over at the heart, and now down the back or the front right of the belly, connecting back at the root, completing the circuit, pivoting another 45, and this time we come up the left side, breathing up, left belly, crossing over at the heart, up the upper right part of our torso, past the shoulders, the ear, up over our head, connecting to our crown, and begin to exhale down the left side of our head, past the ear, the shoulder, coming in, crossing again over at the heart, and then down the right side of our body, of our belly, connecting down, looping down, back under the spine, connecting to the root, pivoting another 45, maybe even just a little offset from the original one. So this time when you breathe up, you're coming up the front left of the belly, crossing over at the heart, up the upper back right of the torso and the back, over the head, connecting to the crown, then exhaling down the upper left front of the body, crossing over at the heart, and finally cruising down the lower back right, connecting under the base of the spine, back into the root, pivoting in. Now we're at the front, breathing up, comes up the front of the belly from the root, up, crossing the navel, continuing up the belly, crossing over at the heart center, up now the back, behind the spine, over the back of the head, connecting to the crown. Then exhaling, it comes down the face, past the nose, the chin, the throat, the chest, coming back into the heart as it crosses back over to the back side of our body. And now we're on the back side of the spine, just exhaling still, lowering it, allowing it to go down, connecting back into the root, completing the circuit. This time pivot again, another 45, coming up. Now the front right of the belly, up the belly, curving back in, crossing over at the heart. Continue to breathe in as it comes up the upper back left part of our upper body, our upper torso, up over the head, connecting in the crown where we exhale and allow the energy to just flow down, wash over us as it comes down the front left or right of our body, upper body, crossing over at the heart, then down the lower back left, again connecting into the root. We pivot, and now we're back at our starting point. So this time we're going to do 3 breaths, and this time just try and kind of flow with each of those infinity loops that you created. So you breathe in, all the loops rise up from their spot at the base, up the belly, converging back at the heart as it crosses over to the opposite side of where it's at, and then rising up the upper torso, up over the head, connecting into the crown. And now we can begin to exhale, allowing the energy to wash down over the body, crossing back over at the heart, cruising down the belly, relaxing, releasing, cleansing until it connects back at the root chakra. Again, we'll breathe in, the energy rides up the vortexes, up these infinity loops within us, creating this vortex within, this 3-dimensional infinity symbol within us, up the body, crossing over the heart, up the torso, over the head, then relaxing and allowing it to wash down over us, cleansing and clearing anything in its path as it crosses over the heart, then down the belly, connecting back into the root. One more ride up. Breathe in, the energy rises up, invigorates the body, charges us up as it crosses over at the heart, filling us with joy. And the body continues to cruise up. The energy cruises up, connects back over the head at the crown. Then we exhale and allow it to just flow down, cleanse, and clear any blockages, crossing back over at the heart, down the belly, connecting back into the root. Now, in this breath, we're going to take it a little different direction. We are going to start at the root, and we have the upper, or at the heart, and the upper end of it. And then this time, as we go, it doesn't even have to be in line with the breath, but just envision the energy coming down and creating a loop that goes down, and it goes down past the body. And then at this point, it's going to cross over at the Earth Star chakra, which is about a foot below your root chakra. And that's where we're going to cross over and then continue down deep, deep into the core of the earth, into Gaia, embracing and picking up on her energy as it goes down into the earth. And then it flows back up, gathering all that good earth chi with it, crossing back over at the Earth Star chakra as it comes up, begins to enter the body, bringing all this beautiful earth chi up into it as it melds into our body, melds into our own infinite vortex, crossing over and completing the circuit at the heart where it connects into the center of our own personal infinite vortex, infusing it with this earth chi. So now we'll just follow that loop a couple times as the energy goes down, crossing over at the Earth Star chakra, continuing its downward deep into the core of Gaia, gathering the energy up as it rises back up, crossing back over at the Earth Star, continuing to rise up, continuing its upper loop as it connects into the heart chakra, infusing that Earth chi. And we're going to do one more where we follow this breath down into Earth, gathering, really gather, really feel that earth chi, envision it. You can give it color, you can give it warmth, but really feel it, especially when it rises back up, crossing over at the Earth Star and starts to enter the body. Feel it as it charges you with all this beautiful, cleansing, wonderful energy from the Earth, from our Mama Gaia, crossing over, finishing the loop at the heart, connecting back into that infinite vortex within us. So now we're going to do the same thing, but now above. As above, so below, and we're going to connect into heaven chi. So on the in breath, or however we want to go, we're going to follow the energy up, 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 out, past, as it continues the loop past our crown. And this time it's going to cross over at the soul star chakra, about a foot above the crown chakra. And it's going to cross over there, and then it's going to reach up into the cosmos, creating another loop above, just gathering in, looping into the cosmos, gathering that good heaven chi, and then the loop completes and it flows back down, crossing over at the soul star chakra, and then creating that bottom loop of the infinity symbol as it enters the body. Feel that heaven chi wash down over you, washing down into the body. And then it comes in and finishes the loop at the heart where it joins the earth chi and our own purple infinite vortex, infusing that heaven chi into both. And this is where in Qigong, this is called joining heaven and earth. You're joining heaven chi and earth chi, creating life chi at where they meet. And that's sparking and fueling our own infinite vortex within us, infusing it with the earth chi, infusing it with the heaven chi, and now we have this trifecta of infinity loops of heaven chi, infinite, our own personal chi, our life chi, and earth chi, creating this three-way, this perfection, this trifecta of energy and flow within us. So before we go into the trance and start sending this energy into Arlo, I want us to take a few breaths, and this time we're going to start at the bottom, very, very bottom of loop of the Earth, one of the Earth infinity, and ride that energy up from the bottom loop, allowing it to cross over at the soul star, continuing up where it's going to kind of join in with the bottom loop of our personal life chi vortex, and then completing the loop where it joins in and continues on, and the bottom loop of the heaven infinity and the upper loop of our life force infinity, our infinite purple vortex, climbs up. The life force connects back at the crown, while the heaven chi continues upwards to our soul star chakra, crossing over, and then creating another upper loop into the cosmos, and then back down, finishing the loop. So now you have this complete loop from the core of Gaia all the way into the heavens, into the celestial beings, and energy flowing infinitely, effortlessly between all three. And now we're going to focus sending this wonderful energy not only to Arlo, but as well, we're going to create an infinity thread to Devora to help charge her so she can send even more healing into Arlo. So I will see you all in 8 minutes. Enjoy. drowsy. Ooh. Ooh. Right. Wow. Well, I'll kick it off. So I started with the intent, and I sat down, I tapped into the energy, and then I opened my eyes. I looked at the picture of Arlo, and I thought it was interesting because the way the picture was taken, it was almost like it was funneling into him, like the way the snow fort. It was like it was just. And it drew me in, and it drew the energy in. It just really started calling me in, and I just felt it pulling me in, and it was like sucking it in, and we all kind of just went into this portal almost to Arlo. And then we were there, uh, and we were all in a circle, everybody that's participating, and except for Devora, who was in the middle of the circle, and in Devora's lap was Arlo. So Devora was sitting cross-leg, crisscross applesauce. Arlo is in her lap. And then we all kind of started sending our energy into Devora, and it started charging Devora, and we're wrapping her around, and that's happening, it's infusing into Arlo. So by infusing into Devora and creating this sphere, this bubble of energy around her, it created this impact, and it charged into Arlo, and by default, it just kind of went into him. And then I started connecting infinity threads with everybody that was participating. So now I have my infinity thread. It's going to each one of you, and you guys all started sending infinity threads back out to everybody, and it created this mesh like network of this energy all converging into Devora, who's at the center of the circle, because all this mesh and all these connections just keep going, and it just kept charging the energy. And at that point, this cyclone, or this almost tornado of this like silver light came down, and just like a pillar, and surrounded Devora and Arlo. And then our energy infused that purple. It was almost like this metallic purple energy, and then that just started shooting into the center. And then this like golden cornucopia appeared, full of just the most just delicious, wonderful, like magical fruits within it. And just beautiful thing. And then at one point, Arlo says, "Well, I don't want fruits and vegetables. I want candy." I said, "Buddy, we got to get your nutrition. We got to get you on right, get you going." I said, "But be careful, because these fruits, these are very magical fruits. You don't need a whole lot. You just need a little bite, and it's going to provide you with the nourishment you needed." So he was able to take little nibbles of a piece of fruit, and then the fruit went in, and it started just kind of coating the intestines and healing the intestines further, and lining the intestines, and bridging any holes, and sealing any holes, and connecting all the fibers, and just strengthening it with each bite. And then the timer went off, and here we are.
Wow. That's interesting. Arlo's actually never had candy in his life because he was 15 months old when the accident happened, and they didn't let him have sweets up to that point. And so he's never even had candy. So that's pretty cool. But I saw, as I was focusing on the infinity symbol and sending it to Arlo and everything, and I was seeing the flow of energy and everything. But the infinity symbol it wasn't a smooth flow. It was kind of jaggedy, and not a smooth figure eight, if you will. It wasn't a smooth infinity symbol, and I was a little frustrated by that. And I just heard clearly, just keep breathing energy into it, and it'll flow more smoothly. And so I kept doing that, and then I realized that the infinity symbol actually was Arlo's intestines, and that they were jaggedy. And as I breathed energy into them, they smoothed out and flowed. And I saw them, saw just healing flowing through it. The infinity symbol was just, it was his intestines. It was so cool.
That I
Wow.
had the same kind of experience. Yeah, it was like jagged, and I was envisioning it was his intestines, and just kept breathing and it was smoothing itself out. So I totally had that same experience. How crazy.
That is incredible. I did there was one little thing too, a little caveat before I came out is by infusing and healing and this energy, it naturally like sent a calm over because there was a little bit of chaos, and so that calm bled into the earth and washed over the earth. So it's that calm we needed for the Ronald McDonald, for the earth, for the energy and the collective. So that was pretty good. That was powerful stuff.
Yeah, because as the tunnel and the inner yeah, the jaggedness, because when you were saying earlier how the Ronald McDonald House just has kind of like this weird energy, I was focusing on, the energy being calm there as well. So yeah, that was my experience.
Love that. Love that. Oh, once again, I love the synchronicities between everything. Anybody else want to jump in and share? I feel I felt very optimistic. I felt very positive with this. I felt there was almost even one point when the energy was coming, it was like he was on the table, the operating table, and they kind of pulled it out, and it was almost like I don't know if it's because you saying this, Devora, but it was like they pulled out the intestines, and they're like, wait, well, this isn't as bad as we thought. There's a lot to work with here, and they were very pleasantly happy with what they had to work with in there. They said, well, we got plenty to do what we need to do.
Yeah. That's exactly the energy I've been focusing on him now for a couple of weeks is that they would just pull everything out and go, wow, this is a lot better than we thought. Yeah. Put it all back in and zip him up.
Yes, yes, and then get him onto the path of further healing. Get past
Yeah.
this mountain and this mammoth of a mountain, Mount Olympus. But
Yeah.
just imagine you climb a mountain like that. Everyone after that's going to seem like an anthill. Hmm.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see what this kid's life is about because there's a reason he's still around 3 years later.
I uh, I fully agree with that. Like if he was meant to go, he would have been gone. There was ample
Hmm.
opportunity for that to happen,
Yeah.
and for the fact that he's here, the fact that these sessions are now taking place, and this is happening. It's not coincidence. This is all happening. This
Yeah.
is divine intervention.
That's what I keep telling my son. I said, I told him, I think that I'm not sure, but I'm almost positive that the first time I met with you guys was the night he had his first surgery in October. And because I was so upset, and then all of a sudden I just supernaturally found out about you guys that afternoon and jumped on that night, and that was the first night of his that was that round of surgeries because this is actually his 41st surgery, but that round in October when he had 8 surgeries in 13 days in October, the first night of it was the night I connected with you guys, and it's like I just feel like this is a completion of something in a good way. I mean, there's still work to be done after this surgery, but it just feels like this major hurdle is completed. Like the loops connected and completed.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
And we've seen small bits of miracles throughout the process. That there
yeah. Yeah.
was concern of him being able to even go to Nebraska,
Right.
and then that worked out. And then was he going to have this and that? Everything that's kind of been thrown up and bubbled up since we've started this. It seems like, oh, here's a concern, and as soon as it comes up, it goes away.
Yeah, it just goes away. Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys standing with me through this. You are my family. My heart is with you. Thank you so much.
Most definitely. We are honored to be able. I'm honored to be able to do. I am super grateful to you just even met you. You are an amazing person with an amazing energy, and you just my life is more, I feel better knowing you and knowing every one of you in here. It's just
Yeah.
ever since this group has started, things have just been nothing short of bliss and magic for me in my life. And that's because of everyone that's contributing to this energy, all of you guys, and the fact that just the amazingness that we have in these sessions, the power there in these sessions, and every time it's like, I don't even know how this can get any better. I don't know how, like, I can get a next level. And then I join the sessions, and it's like, well, I guess that's how. Because it
Yeah.
just keeps unlocking things, and it is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. It is incredible.
And I know for me, I'm learning, so it's nice to, you know, elevate or rise up or, raise the awareness and consciousness, not just for myself, but for others as well. So I like it. I love it.
That's awesome. And one thing I told my son when we did the session last night, and I introduced him everything, and I said, now because he lives down in Santa Barbara, he's about 2 hours from me, down with his mom down there, and I said, now you don't have to like bring my energy back with you to infuse into your house. You are now going to become the beacon for your household. And you're going to share that energy and you're going to be able to generate. And I go, wait, just watch, buddy. Just watch. The more you do this, just watch how the household dynamics change. Watch how everything just starts to become effortless and flow and things just open up for you. And uh, I'm just so excited because I've seen it happen with everybody that's participated in this, and I've seen it happen a million times since I started it with myself. Like every moment is redefined and growth. So
Well, and I think it's interesting that you've had this experience now with your older son and your younger son. You shared last week with about your younger one, and just that they're just coming into these kids are coming into this awareness these days. And even my son, Arlo's dad, it's just not a conversation I've been able to have with him about energy and all of that kind of thing, anything metaphysical. I haven't been able to have a conversation with him. And when he came over the other day, we sat, we talked for a long time, and he told me about the what was going on at the Ronald McDonald House, and he said, "Mom, how do I change the energy there?" And I was like, "Really?" And he said, and I was shocked that he even broached the subject of energy work. And he said, "I don't know. He goes, do I go get sage and do something with that, or what do I do?" And so we talked about that a bit, and sharing energy and stuff, and how he can set the tone there, not let it set the tone in him, because up to this point it's been setting the tone in him. He didn't have trouble sleeping. I shared with you, Brian, how much trouble he's had
yeah,
sleeping. He said the other day he thinks he slept in the last 20 days he slept 42 hours.
oh,
That's not much. Yeah.
that's not good.
And no, and it started the day they moved into the Ronald McDonald House.
Hmm.
So
There's something with
you
the
know
energy. So, well, we've sent some transmuting
it
energy.
was yeah, so we've done that today, and he knows a little bit about how to do that, and just I just am excited the fact that he even opened up to that conversation.
Well, the fact that he's open to it and then now going to be in direct contact or direct, placement within Arlo,
Right.
just that shift in mindset is going to be huge for them. It's going to bring
Yeah.
so much healing with it in itself, and just that shift in mindset with him. And all these stories, my sons and your son, and everything that's happening, the more we can make these conversations mainstream, that they're just common conversations that we're having. The faster things are going to change, and the faster everyone's going to start catching on, the faster these things are going to go. And it's just, if you have kids, start having these conversations. If you haven't already, start having these conversations with your kids, with these people, and allow them to just, don't force it upon them, but just start introducing concepts to them, start showing them and allowing them so they understand. And the more it becomes comfortable, it the less taboo it is. It's been taboo because it brings power back to us. It gives us our power back. And those that have been ruling the roost, so to speak, don't want our sovereignty back. They don't want us to hold our power. So they have done everything they can, but now they can't do it anymore because it's risen to a point and it's so high, at such a level, it is unstoppable. It has caught enough momentum now that it's this giant snowball rolling down the hill. And if anything tries to get in the way, it's just going to get caught up and rolled down with it and turned into the snowball. And it
Yeah,
is
our sovereignty is being reestablished on every level.
definitely. And if you don't think that, you're paying attention to the wrong things and the wrong energy
Yeah,
because there is a lot of chaos or discord out there or being discussed out there.
yeah,
But we don't have to let that infect us. We don't have to let
no,
that be because we are the ones here to, and this has actually been very huge messaging in things for this week, is we don't have we just have to show them that it can. Just show them there is a way, there is a better way, and continue to hold that space, anchor in the energy, bring it into to Gaia, anchor into all of our interactions, share it, and that's why I can't emphasize share, share, share with everybody because the more we talk about it, the more we share with it, the more it becomes common, and the more it can be openly discussed in places like coffee shops or the grocery store or things like that, the more it just becomes natural and it becomes our way of being. Well, I think on that note, I'm going to continue to allow, now that we have these infinity threads, I'm going to continue to allow this energy to feed into Devora and Arlo. I'm going to really stay focused on that for the next 2 days. Please keep us updated when you find anything out. I will be on probably pins and
I
needles all
will.
day Friday until I heard or something.
It'll probably be extremely late Friday. They
Okay.
said at least 14-hour surgery, so it'll probably be extremely late. That's a short surgery. He had one that was 26 hours.
Can't even
And
imagine.
no, I can't even. They had to have multiple teams. But yeah, they said probably 14 hours minimum. And so it'll be, I'm sure, Saturday before or even Sunday before he won't be, I don't know. It'll be over the weekend. As soon as
Well,
I know something, you guys will know.
and you got to do what's best to protect your energy. I mean, it's going to be a very wild weekend for you. I mean, there's going to be a lot
Yeah,
of things. So don't stress yourself about, oh, I got to get back to the group. It's not, you'll get back to us when we get to it, and we'll get the information when we get to it. I will be able to feel it. I kind of already am feeling some really goodness about it. I'm really positive and I'm excited. I think that's more, I'm excited because I'm excited to hear that. I'm excited to hear you say, man, we did, it happened. They pulled the intestines out and they were so wonderful. They had so much to work with, and now
yeah,
he's sewed back up, and we're on the path. We're
yeah,
on the path.
yeah. Well, I'm going to be sharing with family, obviously, all weekend, keeping everybody up to date in my family, and you guys are my family, so you will be on that list.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you again.
And thank you to everybody participating, not only in these live sessions, but contributing to the energy. If you're watching replays or talking about it, the more we can contribute to this, the better it becomes, and the faster it will manifest, and the further it's going to spread. So, thank you all again. I'm so grateful for this group and these sessions, and I look forward to them every day, even if it's like stressful day, work's chaotic, whatever. It's like, oh, it's Wednesday though. I get to go reset. I get to go meet with the group and we get to just flow. Oh, cool. Well, thank you all again. And we'll get the replay up whenever it's done processing. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Enjoy the energy. Enjoy the heaven and earth chi flowing through you, effortlessly through you now, infinitely through you, connected to both above and below, and creating the life force within us. So much love to you all. We'll talk in the chat. We'll talk in the ether. Take
Have
care.
a good night.